Hello, listeners, and welcome to episode 66 of the Nigerian Football Weekly podcast. Me, your host, Olu Oke. Today's, I'll say over the weekend has not been the most eventful weekend of Nigerian footballers in terms of their performance in Europe, especially with the Premier League being off due to the Queen dying. So may her soul rest in peace. Either way, we've still had players playing in all the other leagues in Europe that we'll normally talk about. And also, after the coming weekend of football games, we will have the international break. So the exciting news is that we will be bringing you an update on the Nigerian national team squad released over the coming days. I'm hoping that I'll see my boys like Onyedika, Alassane Yusuf, and Akpoguma called up for that squad. So that should be quite exciting. Anyway, without any further ado, let's get into it. So starting with the Premier League, we will see the Premier League return this Friday. Only 3 games have been postponed, so we will have 7 games going on, and those games all include the Nigerian players playing in the Premier League. Manchester United versus Leeds has been postponed, Chelsea versus Liverpool has been postponed, and Brighton versus Crystal Palace is still postponed, although that was called off about 2 or 3 weeks ago due to a rail strike as well. We will see Joe Southampton in action against Aston Villa away on Friday night at 8 p.m. So the intriguing part about this is we'll see him go against Steven Gerrard, who is obviously the manager who he flourished under at Rangers. So that should be very interesting to see. Frank Onyedika's Brentford will be in action against Arsenal at home on Sunday in a 12 noon kickoff. So it was initially going to be at 2 p.m. but it got moved to 12 noon because of the arrangements around the Queen's funeral, which will take place on Monday the 19th of September. Taiwo Awoniyi and Emmanuel Dennis, Nottingham Forest, they will also be in action on Friday night. They play Fulham at home, so it'll be interesting to see if either of those players actually start a game, considering they've been on the bench for majority of the Premier League games this season. And let's see if Alex Iwobi can continue his excellent form on Sunday at 2:15 p.m. as Everton host West Ham United. Finally, we'll see Kelechi Iheanacho and Wilfred Ndidi's Leicester City go away to Tottenham on Saturday in the late evening kickoff at 5:30 p.m. That's going to be a tough game. I mean, from what we've seen from the past, we've never really seen them flourish too much in this game. You know, it's always been a game they've tended to struggle with, if I'm being honest. So let's see what happens in this one for them. Anyway, the other games to be aware about in the Premier League, apart from the ones involving Nigerian players, Wolves play Manchester City in the early kickoff on Saturday, and then Newcastle play Bournemouth in the 3 p.m. kickoff on Saturday as well. So those are all the games involving Nigerian players that will be played over the weekend. In Serie A, we know Victor Osimhen is injured, so he wasn't in action over the weekend as Napoli beat Spezia at home, courtesy of a late Giovanni Raspadori goal in the 89th minute. You can really tell that they struggle when Osimhen's not playing. Like, he's definitely their star boy. So we'll see Osimhen miss the game in the Champions League against Rangers tomorrow on Wednesday. And then he'll probably miss the game against AC Milan away on Sunday night. That should be a really, really tasty game, to be fair. But at the moment, the good news is Napoli are in first place, and hopefully they could keep their spot. They could keep things that way, if that makes sense. Ademola Lookman's Atalanta, they've dropped to second place. Lookman started the game on Sunday. He looked lively in the game. They drew 1-1 against Cremonese at home. So a bit of a shock result. Mehdi Demiral scored the goal for Atalanta with a really, really good header, and then Cremonese equalized after. Next up, then, they play AS Roma away on Sunday evening. So that should be quite an interesting game to watch, to be honest. Udinese have actually been a surprise package in Serie A this season. They currently sit 4th in the league. We've seen as success start and play well in their game on Sunday. They beat Sassuolo 3-1 away. He's still looking for his first goal or assist for the season. And his rival, or his strike rival, Beto, the Portuguese striker, actually scored a brace and started the season really, really well. So it's not looking too good for him. Next up for them, they play Inter Milan at home on Sunday morning. So that should be a really, really good game. And let's see how they get on when they play one of the big boys. Ola Aina for Torino, he was an unused sub on Sunday. We did see Torino concede a late goal to Brozovic against Inter Milan. So they lost the game 1-0 on Sunday, which was no shame, to be fair. And they almost got away with a draw. This was... I mean, I don't know why Lionel's not playing, but they're currently 9th in the league, and hopefully we'll see him play the next game before he goes on an international break with Nigeria. Next up for them, they play Sassuolo at home on Saturday night. Chanibwe is still injured, so he wasn't in the squad on Monday night as Empoli lost 2-1 to AS Roma, courtesy of a Tammy Abraham winner. Paulo Dybala also scored a great goal with his left foot. The FIFA OGs know about the Paulo Dybala left foot. So let's see what happens with Terem Ejuke's injury status. Next up, then they play Bologna away on Saturday. Interesting fact about Bologna, Marko Arnautovic is the top scorer in Serie A with 6 goals after 6 games. So I thought that was quite impressive from him. And then finally, Cremonese's boys, Okereke and Cyril Dessers, they continue to start games for Cremonese, although Dessers still looking for his first goal in Serie A. He did look lively though, although there was one chance he had where he probably should have squared it to his teammate. They drew 1-1 to Atalanta. That was the game where Lookman played as well. And it doesn't get any easier for them. They play Lazio at home on Sunday. They're currently 18th in the league, so it's not looking good. They're still looking for their first win in Serie A, but hopefully that will come sooner rather than later. In La Liga, we saw someone Chukwueze's Villarreal lose 1-0 to Real Betis. It was the first goal they've conceded in La Liga this season. He came off the bench to play 36 minutes on Sunday night. Next up for them, though, they play in the Conference League again away to Hapoel Beersheva. So I'd expect Chukwueze to start this game. And then on Sunday in the league, they play Sevilla at home. Omar Sadiq, oh my God, I feel so sad for him. Omar Sadiq actually ruptured his ACL on Sunday. So he was playing for Real Sociedad away to Getafe, and he got injured in the first half. And it'd been confirmed by the club subsequently that he's ruptured his ACL. So he's out for the season, sadly, which is really, really sad for him. He's only just moved to Real Sociedad. He scored in his first game for them, played against Manchester United, and it's just sad to see what's happened to him. But, you know, such is life when it comes to football sometimes. Moving on to Ligue 1. Actually, before I go to Ligue 1, Azza Oshuala is starting her season this weekend for Barcelona Women's. So they play at home against Granadilla Tenerife. So hopefully she could be top scorer again like she was last season. It's going to be a big season because it's the season just before the World Cup. The Women's World Cup takes place next summer. And we know Shola has really struggled with injuries. So hopefully she can finally get herself in tip-top shape to play for both Nigeria and the Barcelona women's team. In Ligue 1, Terem and Innocent Bonke's Lorient continued to flourish in the league. They're currently 4th. Honestly, it's almost hard to believe. So they beat Nantes 3-2 at home on Sunday. Really, really good performance. Impressive trio. So we've seen Moffi form an impressive attacking trio with Enzo Lefi. He's a French under-21 international. Really, really good player. Scores free kicks as well. Just great technically. And they've also got a player called Aitara from Burkina Faso. He scored a really good free kick against Nantes in that game. So at the moment they're 4th, and let's see if they can keep it up for the rest of the season. Next up for them, they play Auxerre away on Friday night. Speaking of Nantes, Moses Simon did play in that game where they lost 3-0 to Lorient away, and he actually did score the consolation goal for Nantes to make it 3-2 after they were losing 3-1. Next up for them, there will be an action in the Europa League on Thursday night away to Karabag. And then on Sunday, they host Lens in what should be a really, really good game in Ligue 1. Finally, in the top 5 leagues, Kevin Akpoguma continues to start against Hoffenheim. They're also doing really well in the league. They're currently 4th in the Bundesliga and on course for Champions League spots, even though it's very, very early in the season. He did start on Saturday as they beat Mainz 4-1. So that's really, really good to see. And I'm really, really hoping we'll see him in the national team squad when the squad list is released either tomorrow or Thursday or Friday. Next up for them, they play Freiburg at home on Sunday evening. So that should be a bit of a top-of-the-table clash, 3rd versus 4th. So it happens in that one. And Chidera Ejuke, congratulations to him. He finally got his first goal contribution for Hertha Berlin. He got an assist in their 2-2 draw at home to Bayer Leverkusen on Saturday, and long may his good form continue. Next up for them, they play Mainz away, so I'm hoping that HK could kick on and continue to finally deliver on his potential in a top 5 league. So that's it in terms of the top 5 leagues. You know, a bit shorter because we didn't have no Premier League action, but the good news is Premier League will be back this weekend, baby. Moving on to the other leagues in Europe, starting with the Primeira Liga as usual. Zaidu Sanusi was not in the squad on Saturday as Porto beat Chaves, who got newly promoted 3-0 in the league. However, earlier tonight on Tuesday, he did start as Porto got absolutely thrashed 4-0 by Club Brugge. 4-0. Honestly, like, they were battered. That was the only way to put this one. Honestly, it was really bad. So let's see if Porto can bounce back. Their next game in the league is on Saturday away to Estoril. One of the people to really shout out this week and who had a really, really good performance was Saviour Godwin. He's a Nigerian winger. He plays for Casa Pia in the Portuguese League. They're currently 6th in their first season in the Portuguese League. He scored a really, really good goal as they beat Pacos Ferreira 3-2 away on Sunday. So shout out to him. He's also one of my star boys this week. So let's see if he can kick on. He's now got 2 goals for the season. They play Famalicão at home on Sunday, so hopefully he could kick on with the good form. In Dutch Eredivisie, we saw Calvin Bassey play well again on Saturday as Ajax beat Heerenveen 5-0. Yeah, another clean sheet for the boy. You know, he just racks them up at this point. And then earlier tonight on Tuesday, he put up a really, really good fight and played well. Although Salah got the best of him a few times. I thought he was a bit culpable for the first Liverpool goal. As Ajax lost 2-1 to Liverpool. Mohamed Kudus scored an absolutely sick goal for Ajax. Honestly, brilliant. And then Joao Matip scored a winner with like 2 minutes to go in the game. So very, very unlucky for Ajax, and they'll go again in the return leg. But I'm sure they'll feel a bit more comfortable and confident going into their next Champions League game against Napoli. Anyway, before that, in the league, they play AZ Alkmaar away on Sunday. So I'm sure we'll see Calvin Bassey start that game yet again. In the Belgian league, Raphael Onyedika, honestly, they sweep my body, man. He makes me happy. His Club Brugge team, he did come on for the final 30 minutes over the weekend in their 2-0 win over RFC Serang, probably because he was being rested for the Champions League. And then we saw him play 90 minutes earlier tonight as they indeed beat Porto 4-0. He looked really, really good. Like, honestly, he played really, really well. He did get a yellow card, but it's expected when you're a ball-winning midfielder. And I love the fact that all the goals Bruges scored, he was one of the first people to go celebrate. So I thought that was really, really good of him. I really, really hope he's named in the squad for the Super Eagles later this week. I think if he's one of the most deserving players to be called up. He's still only 21 years old. And honestly, the world is his oyster. Next up for the league, he plays Standard Liège away on Sunday. Speaking of another player who deserves to get called up for Nigeria, Alassane Youssouf's Royal Antwerp beat Cercle Bruges 2-0 on Sunday. They've now got 8 wins from 8 games in the league. And he was also voted the player of the month for Royal Antwerp in the league. So if you're the best team in Belgium and you're getting voted player of the month, I mean, you must be doing something really, really well. So I want to see Alassane Youssouf in that Nigeria squad that's released later this week. Next up for them, they play RFC Serang at home on Friday. So fingers crossed they'll continue their really, really impressive start to the season. Polonuachu started his first game of the season for Genk in a 2-1 win over Union Saint-Gilloise away on Sunday. They do remain second and he failed to hit the back of the net. But at least encouragingly, it's good to see him actually playing games for a change because he's been on the bench for the majority of the games this season. Next up for them, they play Ghent at home on Sunday. Speaking of Union Saint-Gilloise, Victor Boniface was involved in that game. He did start in that 2-1 loss to Genk. Next up for them, they play in the Europa League at home against Malmo on Thursday. And then they play Eupen away on Sunday. And then finally in the Belgian League, Ishak Abdulrazak, the midfielder, he was not in the squad on Sunday as they lost 2-1 to Westerlo away, which is really, really bad for Anderlecht. That's a terrible result. But let's see if he plays on Thursday. They'll be in action in the UEFA Conference League away to FCSB. And then they play Kortrijk at home on Sunday. So let's see if he's involved in any of these games. In the Czech Republic, a player who I wasn't familiar with, but I need to report on, who plays for the champions of Czech Republic, Fortune Bassi. He's actually a striker for Victoria Pilsen, and they're actually playing in the Champions League. So yet another Nigerian player in the Champions League. On Saturday in the league, he scored in their 3-2 win away to Sigma Olomouc. So he came on, and so pretty good to see. And then earlier tonight, he came on for the final 19 minutes as Victoria Pilsen lost 2-0 to Inter Milan in the Champions League. Next up for them, he will be up against Peter Olainka and Moses Uzo's Slavia Prague at home on Sunday. Speaking of the Slavia Prague boys, they did beat their opponent 6-1 over the weekend, Skask Budejovic. Moses Uzo came off the bench, although Olainka was on a new sub. I'm not sure why Olainka didn't play, but they've got a UEFA Conference League game on Thursday against Balkany, which they'll be the home team, and then they'll play Victoria Pilsen away on Sunday. In Denmark, Paul Mukari was on a new sub as Copenhagen lost 2-1 to Odense away on Saturday. Their league form has been absolutely wretched. That's the only way to put it. It's like they've put all their eggs in the Champions League basket, but it's a bit crazy because, you will expect them to lose majority of their games in the Champions League. So I'm not sure what the tactic is in that regard. But anyway, on Wednesday, they play Sevilla at home. So tomorrow in the Champions League, let's see if Mukairo at least gets some minutes, whether that's off the bench or starting, although it's more likely to be off the bench. And then they'll play their fellow title rivals Midtjylland away on Sunday in the league. In Croatia, we've seen Chidera Ejuke's Hajduk split. They conceded a last-minute goal on Friday night to draw 1-1 away to Šibenik. They had the win and they just threw it away. Next up for them, tomorrow they play against a team called Rijeka at home. And then they also play at home on Saturday against a team called Istra 1961. And then finally, in terms of the European leagues worth covering, in the Turkish league, we've seen Hertha and David Akintola play in a 3-2 win over Trabzonspor on Monday night. Hertha started the game and David Akintola came off the bench. They did score a last-minute winner, which is always nice for the boys. And at the moment, they're fourth in the Turkish Super League. Next up for them, they play Antalyaspor away on Saturday. Samos Fenerbahce did not play this weekend. I'm not sure exactly why. But next up for them, they play in the Europa League on Thursday away to Rennes. So that'll be a very, very tough game. I saw Rennes beat their last opponents over the weekend 2-0. And they've got Guri and Khalid Suleimana, Kamaldeen. Got some really, really good players. So that should be a really, really tough game. And then we'll see them play against Alanyaspor at home on Sunday. And then finally, Ahmed Musa came off the bench in a 1-1 draw against Istanbul Por AS at home on Sunday. He will also be in action in Europe on Thursday in the Conference League as Istanbul Başakşehir go away to CRF Cluj, who are a Romanian team, and then they play Ankara Gugu away on Sunday. So that's the roundup in terms of the players in Europe for this week. Starboy of the week, I think it deserves to be a shared one. So Saviour Godwin, really, really taken to the Portuguese league like a dog to water. Scored his second goal of the season for Casa Pia. They're sixth in the league. They've started really, really brilliantly. And he scored a really, really good goal in their win over the weekend to win the game 3-2. Also, Chidera Ejuke playing in the Bundesliga is no easy fit. Finally playing well and contributing with an assist in their 2-2 draw against Bayer Leverkusen, who are in the Champions League, by the way, is no mean feat. So shout out to Chidera Ejuke. In terms of Nigerian news, expect the squad announcements this week. Also, we've got news that NFF have whittled down the candidates for NFF presidency to 9 people. So watch out for that one. I believe the elections are held later this month. So we'll see what happens in that regard. Finally, in terms of the ones to watch for the week, Paul Mukairu's Copenhagen are in action against Sevilla at home tomorrow in the Champions League. On Friday, we see Jararibo's Southampton play away to Aston Villa where he faces Steven Gerrard. Taiwo Awoniyi and Emmanuel Dennis, Nottingham Forest, are in action at home against Fulham on Friday night as well. So that should be a tasty one to look out for. Terem Moffi is in action away to Auxerre on Friday night too. He's got 6 goals from his first 7 games in the league. So let's see if he can add to his exceptional start to the season. We know his record is 14 goals from the 2021 season. So I think he's in good stead to break that if he continues his great form. On Saturday, we see Kelechi Iheanacho and Wilfred Ndidi play away to Tottenham, 5:30 p.m. We know Leicester are rooted to the bottom of the league, so this is a very, very, very crucial game for them. Isaac Success is also in action for Udinese on Sunday. They host Inter Milan on Sunday morning, 11:30 p.m. AM kickoff. Frank Rijekaard's Brentford are in action against my Arsenal. Brentford are the home team, Sunday 12 noon kickoff. So that should be an interesting game to watch, although you probably expect Onyedika to start from the bench. Alex Iwobi's Everton are playing against West Ham at home on Sunday at 2:15 p.m. game. So that should be one to look out for. And then finally, Ademola Lookman's Atalanta play away to AS Roma, Mourinho's boys, on Sunday evening. So that's it for this episode of the podcast. Thanks for rocking with me. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. If you listen to the podcast on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, I would really, really appreciate if you could give us a review. Please be honest, but obviously 5 stars would be much appreciated. As always, feedback is always welcome. Please let me know things you want to hear or improve on the pod. Remember to follow us on our social media channels at NFWPOD on Twitter, on Instagram at Nigeria Football Weekly, Facebook.com/Nigeria Football Weekly, and of course the YouTube channel is Nigeria Football Weekly. Until next time, peace out and enjoy all the football over the coming week. Take care. Thanks for watching this video. Please like, share, subscribe, and click the bell to get a notification whenever we drop a video. You can also find our social media channels listed below.
And of course, up Super Eagles and Nigeriano they ever carry last.